Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. It is a pleasure and an honor to be together with all of you. Genesis Rabbah teaches us, and the Torah teaches us, that God blessed the seventh day and made it holy. With what did God bless Shabbat? With an extra measure of light. And what is the extra measure of light? Some say that God blesses a person's face on Shabbat, so that the light emanating from one's face on Shabbat is not the same as it is during the week. And most especially am I seeing that today. I can see what perhaps you cannot see, which are your beautiful faces backlit by some candles behind you, which are quite magnificent, and it is a joy to be together. Let us begin as we turn to the kindling of the Shabbat lights. You'll find that in your Sidurim, in the seat pockets in front of you on page 121 is where we begin. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
And please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher gereshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Join us please on page 123 as we turn to the Kiddush. We sanctify the day, for which we'll invite you please in body or in spirit to rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei beri hadafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher gereshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsham yavor asal yilanu, zikaru lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehila lemikrae kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, kivanu acharta, ve'ota lo kidashta mikol העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. לחיים.
Chaim. Please be seated. Please be seated. May this space be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May this place be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this space be for all who enter, the opening to a richer and more meaningful life. We continue now with the singing of Lecha Dodi on page 138. It is our custom to sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And at verse 9, all of us here in the sanctuary, we rise, we turn to the back door, we welcome the Sabbath bride. At home, we will encourage you to also rise and turn to a door of entry and to embody the spirit of Shabbat by welcoming the Sabbath bride. Page 138.
Kishmiyanu
Please be seated. Please be seated. Page 145 as we continue. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even at unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without the presence.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ואומר יברך יראתי וימליך מלכותי.
Join us, please, as we rise for our call to worship, the Baruch Hu. Together, Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'divaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sha'arim, u'v'tfuna meshane itim, u'mechalif et hazmanim, u'mesader et hakochavim, b'mishmaroteim barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or b'nei choshech, v'choshech mibnei or, u'ma'avir yom u'mevi layla, Umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tsevaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And please be seated.
Please join me. ושרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. ונאמר כי יפדה אדוני את יעקב, גאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. We join together as we say, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We continue now with the singing of Yismechu.
Yismechu
Join us as we continue with the tefillah. It can be found on page 164, and we'll invite you, please, in body or in spirit, to rise. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, v'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha sela, Baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. And please be seated. Page 173 as we continue. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Ratzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael, u'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel, u'tehila ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha be'yira na'avod. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulachana elohodot. take a few moments in silence, in prayer, in meditation. I was so overwhelmed. It was me. It's me. We turn our prayers and our thoughts and we open our hearts to those who are in need. It is so fulfilling to see so many of us gathered this evening and to feel the beat in the room, to feel the energy in the room. And there are so many who are here in spirit, who are joining us from home. there are far more who are joining us and who are ailing and who would like to be here, not far more, but who are ailing and who would like to be here, who for weakness of body or weakness of spirit aren't with us this evening. And we bring all of those and all of us together in a moment of prayer as we say, Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah, hu yivarech et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and give strength to those who are struggling. This evening we're holding in our prayers Shana Esther bat Rachel, Sarah bat Avraham v'Sarah, Alan Skirker, Laura Braun, Stephen Brent, Rini Feingold, Irving Manis, Kim Stanger Delisle, Gabriel Berger, Brian Mansfield, Michael Shartok, Miriam Nemitz, Casey Zachman, Ali Goldsmith, Barbara Petro, Valerie Brownstein, Liz Steinberg, Stephen Brieger, Claire Cowing, Linda Champion, Allison Rohr Sikeli, Sarah Postelnik, Stanley Niskoda, Gwen Tucker, Yetta Fagala, Yecheskel Vitova Hinda, Steve Whitaker, Dennis Linsner, Yoka Adar Stam, Jamie Rosenzweig, Rachel Wicks, and Leslie Jacobs. If there are others whom you would add to our list for healing, for wholeness, for strength, please, as I look your way, would you share that name aloud with us? And from home,
Marcia Landers.
Aaron Johnson.
May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for wherever possible health to be restored and strength revived. May God send renewal of body and renewal of spirit, and let us join together in saying,
Amen.
Amen. Page 371.
Shabbat Shalom. This is such a beautiful evening. It's my great honor and pleasure to introduce Rabbi Till's dear friend, Cantor Claire Franca, and our esteemed colleague. I will tell you a little bit about Cantor Franca. Cantor Franca received her ordination from Hebrew Union College, Jewish Institute of Religion in 1996. She studied on Jerusalem campus and at the Debbi Friedman School of Sacred Music. During her time at HUC, she was a student cantor at Temple Sharei Tefillah, New York City. After ordination, she spent 7 years in East Brunswick, New Jersey, and since 2003 has served as the senior cantor at the Community Synagogue in Port Washington, New York. Cantor Franca has been an active member of the American Conference of Cantors, and currently she serves as the president of ACC. In June, as her term, it's a big honor. In June, as her term concludes, she will join the executive board of the Union for Reform Judaism. She has authored many articles for the URJ and can be heard on recordings for transcontinental music publications. Last week, she appeared as the only cantor among 350 rabbis at the annual conference of the Central Conference of American Rabbis.
I practice singing one of these things is not like the other. Thank you, Cantor Braun, for that introduction, and thank you all for inviting me to be a part of this evening, and thank you for inviting me to share your bima. So I am Cantor Claire Franco, and I promise this has a point. I am the youngest of 3 children, growing up with 2 older brothers. I am the mother of 3 daughters. When I was pregnant with my second child, I prayed for a girl. I wanted my eldest daughter, Lael, to have a sister. Someone asked me why. They said, "You have brothers. What do you know about sisters?" But they didn't understand. You see, my parents may not have given me a sister. But in 1992, the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion did. In a romantic relationship, people are often able to pinpoint the moment they knew, a first date, a first kiss, a first declaration of love. But in friendship, the exact moment might be slightly more elusive. But I know with all my heart that in the summer of 1992, somewhere between the riverbeds of En-Gedi and a fence in Haifa, somewhere between covering ourselves in purple and green balloons as Borei Pri Hagafen for Purim, there are pictures of that, by the way, and covering our heads in Mea Sha'arim, somewhere between our apartments in Rehavia, God introduced me to the sister I never had. We were placed in the same Hebrew class, which was something of an anomaly since Rabbi Till's spoken Hebrew was way better than mine, way better than almost everybody else in our class. Our teacher would look at her with a mixture of admiration and consternation when her superior speaking skills surfaced. I remember thinking, okay, watch what she does, because she clearly knows more than you. Highlights of that year in Israel are far too numerous to mention. One stands out when the born Brit and the Canadian were charged with making the turkey for 25 people for Thanksgiving. We returned to New York, or I returned to New York. Our plans to share an apartment in New York after our year in Israel were thwarted when she decided to take the year off. Grappling at that time with her place in Reform Judaism and the rabbinate, she took the year to be sure that she was on the right path. I was disappointed, but I totally understood, and truth be told, it's my fault we never got to live together since I met my husband and got married that year. But back in New York for the next 2 years, we would meet every morning on the corner of Park and 27th and walk to school together. Rabbi Till was still trying to figure out her personal religious practice, including being Shomer Shabbat, which meant that she wasn't watching television, and I was the one to call on a Saturday night, November 4th, to tell her Yitzchak Rabin had been assassinated. We were scheduled to lead tefillah at school together that week, and at the last minute, we worked very hard to create a more meaningful memorial service. It was actually the first time we were called together to work as colleagues. It is one of the many moments in our friendship that stand out. Many as clergy, like the time she hit me in the head with the Torah trying Hagbah, but more as just regular people. There is no way for me to capture the depth and breadth of our friendship for the past 30 years, unless you're willing to stay with me until her retirement. But our friendship has grown in various states and time zones, has seen the birth of 6 children between us, half of them closing in on the age we were when we met all those years ago. She is my go-to for rabbinic advice and for life advice. Our daily, multiple, conversations run the gamut from deep theological discussions to sharing memes, sometimes irreverent, that make us laugh. Life eventually led Rabbi Till to Rochester. Through her work with Melton, Hillel, and Federation, she began to make an imprint on your community. She settled here, made great friends, and life was stable. She was thriving. And then the opportunity to serve alongside Rabbi Katz at Temple Sinai came. It was not an easy decision for her. We spent many hours on the phone back and forth weighing the pros and cons of returning to congregational life. Rabbi Till did not take this decision lightly, and as much as you chose her, she chose you. Her choice to accept the invitation you extended to her in selecting her to be first your assistant rabbi was in no small part due to her admiration, respect, and affection for Rabbi Katz. Rabbi Katz, I hope you can hear me, you have led this community with such devotion and dedication, and with an unparalleled graciousness, you have gifted your legacy to Rabbi Till. In Pirkei Avot, we learn, Aseh lecha l'rav u'kanei lecha chaver. Make for yourself a rav, a teacher, and acquire for yourself a friend. And that, Debbi's mom said to me so many years ago, you know what, honey? Sometimes you don't make a friend, you just recognize them. We may have recognized each other, but the mission is correct. Aseh lecha rav u'kanei lecha chaver. Make for yourself a rav, a teacher, and acquire for yourself a friend. Taken together, these phrases suggest a circular relationship. To learn Torah, we must make a friend to share in life together. And to make a friend with whom to share in life, we must learn Torah together. Sometime in the summer of 1992, I was blessed to acquire both a rabbi and a friend. And for that, I will be eternally grateful. To the community of Temple Sinai, you are so incredibly blessed to have my colleague, my very best friend, my sister, Rabbi Debbi Till, as your senior rabbi. I do not need to tell you about her gifts as a teacher, about her warmth, about her thoughtful and sage wisdom, about her commitment to justice, or her devotion to this community and to Judaism. You have experienced that for yourself already. Famed poet T.S. Eliot said, "No poet, no artist of any art has his complete meaning alone. You cannot value him alone. You must set him by contrast and comparison among those who came before." And I have often thought that this is true for Judaism as well. We cannot value innovation and creativity without the anchor of our communal and individual traditions. It is those traditions that serve as the foundation upon which growth and transformation can occur. Your foundations run deep in the legacy of Rabbi Katz. Change is never easy, but when change is founded in the covenantal relationship between a gifted rabbi and a sacred community, it can enrich and enliven the souls and spirits of all lucky enough to create and experience it. And so for you, I pray that your partnership in the service to your temple community, to Judaism, and to God leads you to wonderful places together. Mazel tov to all of you. seasons of time, seasons of change. We are blessed by those who've passed our way. House of prayer, our family, lasting friendship and memories. May you be blessed, may you be sheltered beneath the wings of Shekhinah. May you be blessed, may you be sheltered beneath the wings of Shekhinah. Each day a gift, faith renewed. Inside our hearts we carry part of you. Words of Torah guide your way, leading us from strength to strength. May you be blessed, may you be sheltered beneath the wings of Shekhinah. May you be blessed, may you be sheltered beneath the wings of Shekhinah. Adonai Yos Le'amo Yitain. May God bless these people with strength and peace. Adonai Yivarach et amo v'shalom beneath the wings of Shekhinah. May you be blessed, may you be sheltered beneath the wings of Shekhinah. May you be blessed, may you be sheltered beneath the wings of Shekhinah. Beneath the wings of Shekhinah.
You leaving me alone here? It was absolutely beautiful and very meaningful. Thank you, Claire Franco. It is my honor and privilege to introduce and to invite via Zoom our Emeritus Rabbi, Rabbi Alan Katz.
Shabbat Shalom. When trying to think about what to say this evening, I look back at Rabbi Till's previous installation as our associate rabbi. Since I know some, or should I say most of you have better memories than I do, I couldn't simply repeat the words. But for sure, the sentiments will be still similar. The second thing I need to say is that I did not contract COVID, of which I have a fairly mild case, I believe, thanks to the vaccine and divine care, in order to get payback for the high holidays. I'm sad not to be physically with all of you this evening, but know my love for all of you, in particular Rabbi Till, means I will continue to place your needs and safety first as I help to install our rabbi. It has been said A rabbi is a religious teacher who helps a community make sense of the physical and spiritual worlds. A rabbi can help people find out how they should act under certain circumstances. Additionally, I found this from a writer, Harvey Racklin, in the Jewish Press, a paper I tend not to read, but this made sense. A rabbi can be one of the most important connections a Jewish person has between the physical and spiritual worlds. A rabbi who fosters a real love of Judaism, who offers perspicacious insights for a more meaningful existence, who comports, change the word, themselves righteously, and who has a warm and welcoming demeanor, can play a central role in the religious life of her congregation, be a rock to others, and help guide the local Jewish community. So I thought, where do you find out what a rabbi is? And based on our ancient tradition, one might consider the rabbi to be a combination of three perspectives. A tzadikah, one who is righteous, but not without faults, but is willing to make teshuvah when necessary. Second, a neviah, not a fortune teller or a predictor of the future, rather a social commentator in the light of our tradition. And third, talmidah chachma, person of learning and wisdom. This later category of Jewish leadership were sometimes rabbis, but not solely. As this distinction developed, you no longer needed to be of a certain tribal lineage, such as the Kohanim or any particular class, and you didn't have to wait for a divine voice to call your name, and you didn't need a priestly intermediary. And for the past 50 years, very fortunately, you did not have to be a man. Now, there are many roles for the rabbi: prayer leader, teacher, a counselor, pastor, officiant at life cycle events, an administrator. I think I should add sometime a janitor, community builder, and a congregational representative. We are all fortunate that Rabbi Till fills these categories well. And she does so with a humor that luckily matched mine and allowed us to work very closely together. Now I want to go back to that previous installation charge because, you know, with COVID, you don't have as much energy and you have to find other things to fill in the space. To serve the Jewish people, one needs strength. Strength is an important quality. But for sure, as a rabbi, that strength need not be physical. Besides occasionally lifting the Torah, and I gather hitting Claire on the head with it, which others can surely do, but I wish you don't. The use of our muscle structure is not a primary part of the rabbi's work. However, a rabbi who doesn't have the strength of her convictions is hardly a strong leader. There will be times when you need to express your beliefs even when others are not in agreement. True strength can be demonstrated not in what stands you take or how strongly you hold your position, but also in how that is communicated to others. Do we express our opinions with respect for those who hold different beliefs, or do we disregard them? I've seen that you are always taking into consideration that there are many points of view. And that's really important, and I really admire that about you, Rabbi Till, Debbi. A strong rabbi can and must take religious, moral, and even political stands, but stubbornness and obstinacy are not in themselves signs of that strength. Building a community around your values is a sign of that strength. So I offer these words to you because I think they are the most important. Know that you and Temple Sinai are blessed with each other. Show them the love you have for them, and it will be returned 100-fold. So when I was thinking about my remarks for this service, a phrase kept popping into my mind. It's generally a description of the divinity when used in the Psalms and elsewhere. Now, I'm not granting any divinity to you. I know you too well. But the descriptive terms can be applied to humans, and in this case to you, Debbi. From Psalm 104, Hod v'hadar lavashta. You are adorned in glory, or rather I would say beauty and majesty. We are blessed now with a rabbi who comports herself with beauty and dignity. A respected leader in our greater Rochester area, not only by her congregation or the larger Jewish community, but also by the populace and leaders at large. So I, along with all the congregation, am proud to call you our Rabbi. At this point, we're going to do the next stage in the ceremony, the official installation. And an installation is really, as Rabbi Cantor Franco said, a covenant between a community, a congregation, and their rabbi. So at this point, to signify that covenant, we will take our own covenant, the Torah. And I ask our presidents, Jamie Spiller and Renee Brownstein, to come forward to the bima. Rabbi Till and Cantor Franco, please come up. As the ark is opened, I ask everyone in the congregation, please rise. As the Torah will be passed from the congregation into the arms of their beloved rabbi.
Moses received the Torah at Mount Sinai. He transmitted it to Joshua. Joshua in turn passed it to the elders, and the elders to the prophets. The prophets transmitted the Torah to the sages of the great assembly, and the sages taught three things: be deliberate in judgment, raise up many disciples, and protect the integrity of the Torah. Rabbi Till, this chain of tradition links Mount Sinai to this Sinai at this very moment, and continues now as it has in every generation, as this Torah scroll is placed in your arms. Our God and God of our ancestors, bestow your blessings on her and this congregation. Instill in her wisdom and righteousness, steadfastness and devotion, as she has assumed the position of Rabbi of Temple Sinai. Grant her a wise heart, candor, and courage. May she respond to every challenge with dignity. Implant within her a full measure of your compassion, that she might embody the words of our tradition as we ask God's blessing upon her. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunaka. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha shalom. May you feel God's presence within you always. May God grant you all the blessings, but most of all, the blessing of wholeness and of peace. As we say together,
Amen.
Please be seated. This is a night. Just to be is a blessing. Just to live is holy, said Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel. His words, as always, are elegant and tonight profoundly resonant. Looking out, I am truly, deeply overwhelmed. Yes, just to be is a blessing. Just to live is holy. But to be in a community like this one is a blessing realized. To be in the presence of holiness that breathes. 2 years ago, when this gathering was supposed to take place, things changed unimaginably, leaving all of us stunned and in a state of disbelief. Few, if any of us, had even heard of Zoom. And tonight, despite my terrible sadness at his physical absence, Rabbi Katz, Rabbi Emeritus of Temple Sinai, my colleague and my friend, and my rabbi, the one who together with you placed his faith in me after 34 years of extraordinary service and leadership, joins us and formally installs me via Zoom. Rabbi Katz, your insights, knowledge, deep love of Judaism, and steadfast commitment to Tikkun Olam, and your sharp wit compelled me to even consider that first conversation many years ago about returning to congregational work. And tonight comes as a most unexpected blessing through you, and for which I am profoundly grateful. And I know that we all join together in wishing him a refuah shlema. To Cantor Franco, who has been with me every step along the way and who understands this sacred work and me like no other, your abiding friendship, your wisdom, and your humor are so often my guiding lights, and my heart is overflowing with thanks. As some of you know, I was never planning on becoming a rabbi, which makes tonight even more remarkable. But a sacred calling in the middle of the night during my last year of college, of university, for all of my Toronto peeps, changed all of that, and God spoke in an unmistakable way, and I heard. In 1992, when I moved to Jerusalem for my first year of rabbinical school, I could have never imagined standing here 30 years later being installed as the rabbi of Temple Sinai. This is the very same Temple Sinai where, as a teenager close in age to my own daughters, Ariel and Jordan, I would eagerly await the opportunity to travel with teens from across Ontario and the Great Lakes region to sleep on a welcoming host family's floor. I would enjoy little sleep, the kindest people, and the finest of programming. Energized about my Judaism, encouraged to think more deeply, stirred by prayer and song, and motivated to address the most pressing issues of social justice and equity, Temple Sinai spoke to my soul. And amazingly, all of that remains the same today, except now I enjoy sleeping in my own home, in my own bed. But as a teen, and even into my 20s and 30s, as I was beginning my rabbinate, women rabbis were a unique phenomenon, with many of us discouraged from pursuing our callings. It wasn't a good job for a nice Jewish girl, we were told. I didn't understand then, but I kind of do now, that change was and is difficult. Throughout history, our people have remained firmly rooted in Jewish tradition, which has served us well. And yet, since its earliest days, Reform Judaism has contended that a Judaism frozen in time cannot coexist effectively with those who live in modern times. We can, at the same time, introduce innovation while preserving tradition, embrace diversity while asserting commonality, affirm beliefs without rejecting those who doubt, and bring faith to sacred texts without sacrificing critical scholarship. The hard-won and eventual addition of women's voices to the rabbinate has added immeasurably to the tenor and richness of worship services, has shifted the tone at meeting tables, impacted the interpretation of our most sacred texts, the ministering of those in need, the approach to interfaith and social justice work, and offers our little ones perhaps a different picture of what a rabbi might look like. We've come a long way, and while we are not there yet, I am proud to say that I am among the now 840 female identifying rabbis of the 2,200 rabbis ordained from the Hebrew Union College, who this spring, with countless others, will join together to celebrate, as Rabbi Katz said, the 50th anniversary of the ordination of the first woman rabbi, Rabbi Sally Presand, publicly ordained as a rabbi. It is a historic and remarkable time. And with the necessary delay of this gathering, for me, the confluence of the timing is both stunning and beautiful, to be installed as the first woman rabbi to lead Temple Sinai at the same time that we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of women in the rabbinate. The mantle of responsibility is heavy. Your trust in me is held with tremendous care. And the wisdom of your collective knowledge and experience and of our tradition guide me every step of the way. My first 4 years with you, together with these last 2 harrowing years, have taught me that we are infinitely stronger together, and that together sometimes looks radically different than what we have known. I have learned that my colleagues and my coworkers are tireless and extraordinary, that we have exemplary religious school teachers, lay leaders, committee chairs and members, congregants and interfaith partners who are all vital to the heartbeat of Temple Sinai. I have seen firsthand what a community of people undeterred in their desire to build sacred community looks like, and am fortified and lifted by a love of God, shared values of deepening our understanding of Torah and what it means to be part of Amcha, the people of Israel, all bound together with an unwavering commitment to accessibility, to inclusion, and the pursuit of justice for all people, at all times, in all places. We take our cues from the past into our present, and we are reminded that centuries ago, as Cantor Franco said, Moses received the Torah at Sinai and handed it down to Joshua. Joshua in turn passed it to the elders, and the elders to the prophets. The prophets transmitted the Torah to the sages of the great assembly, and we became the heirs of their great tradition. L'dor vador, from generation to generation, we pass this wisdom. And as the landscape of our Jewish community is shifting and continues to change, as it always has, and the many who stand in line to pass or receive Torah look different, sound different, and may experience Judaism differently, we have always known the transferring of our legacy cannot be a one-size-fits-all. And tonight is a shining example. There is tremendous sustaining value in innovation and flexibility, of Zoom, of hybrid, of in-person gatherings at Temple and drive-through services in our parking lot, hikes through Corbett's Glen behind us, dinners in person, dinners to go, virtual tours of Israel, life cycle events in ways we could have never imagined, all testaments that we are not frozen in time. We are together the next strong link in a beautiful, shining chain of tradition with our ancestors, searching for blessings to be realized. I am so deeply honored to move through this time with you. I am grateful to Cantor Braun for your partnership, your encouragement to think broadly and creatively, and for lifting me and us in song and in prayer each and every time we gather. To our presidents, Renee and Jamie, who lead our congregation with love and skill and endless dedication, thank you. to Lindsay, Esther, Mary, Joyce, and Iris, Bobby and Angie, Ryan and TJ. Tonight literally would not have happened without you. I don't know how or when you did it all, but thank you. To Ilan and Pauline, thank you for your support. And to all of you who have lent your hearts and your hands, your baking, your organizing, your decorating skills, who are endlessly generous and supportive, and who are the finest partners in faith. I cannot thank you enough. To all of you who are here, to friends and colleagues from out of town, thank you. To my family and friends who were finally able to cross the border, and my friends from Rochester who have made us a part of your families, you make tonight whole. To my mother, who showed me what hardworking, strong, principled women can do when they set their minds to it. I love you. To Ariel and Jordan, who did not choose this life, but who graciously accept it with patience and just the right amount of sass. You make all of this possible, and you make my heart sing. When architect James Johnson designed this magnificent space, he explained that he designed the sanctuary to reflect the idea that life is basically a circle with no beginning and no end. Thus, there's no ceiling, the end wall is glass, and the floors don't come to the walls, leading me to wonder if he too had read Heschel's words and created for us a space where just to be is a blessing realized, and where God smiles knowing that blessings abound with no beginning and with no end.
Journey It is my pleasure and honor to invite our co-presidents, Rene Brownstein and Jamie Spiller.
It seems I'm always moved to tears when I'm on this bima that I spoke to my daughters during their bat mitzvahs, and this bima and this incredibly meaningful ceremony. Renee and I first want to thank everyone in attendance and those who worked so hard to make this service, the Oneg and the post-service event, possible. We're thrilled to speak on behalf of our congregation, its many dedicated volunteers, its board of trustees, and its past presidents. And we're thrilled to share this evening with those in our sanctuary and those via Zoom for an important milestone event, the installation of Rabbi Till. This would be a blessed event at any time, even more so since we've not had a gathering approaching this size for several years. This installation of Rabbi Till is a sacred transition, a moment for our congregational community to reflect on its traditions and core values and commit anew to practicing those values in partnership with her. It is fitting this ceremony is happening in our sanctuary, which embodies our congregation's history and traditions and has been the locale for much of our congregational practice for a half-century. And it is fitting this installation service is happening simultaneously on Zoom, which has enabled our congregation to remain whole these past 2 years. As we embark on the next chapter in the history of our congregation, we're delighted to do so in partnership with Rabbi Till and with her nourishing spiritual guidance, her compelling Jewish teaching, her compassionate pastoral care, and her display of such cherished Jewish values of chesed, loving kindness, tzedek, justice and selfless giving, and mitzvot, moral duties. Among them, tikkun olam, striving to repair, to make whole our precious world. Renee?
A rabbinic installation is a symbol that contains meaning beyond the specific moment and the specific temple and rabbi. In addition to marking a leadership change, it is an expression of connection to tradition, to all rabbis, to all synagogues, to the Reform movement, and to the Jewish people. The installation reminds us that our congregation belongs to something bigger than ourselves. We have some special gifts for you to express this connection. Come on. Time to get up. On behalf of the Brotherhood and Sisterhood. Open that one up. Just rip it.
Now I know how bar and bat mitzvah students feel.
That's exactly right. See? You'll be patient. You'll be patient with them. This is a silver yad, a Torah pointer, intended to symbolize that you, as our rabbi, are with us to point the way for our congregation. While a yad is not required when chanting from the Torah, it is used frequently and is considered a hidur mitzvah, embellishment of the commandment of reading the Torah. Now we have another part of this gift, which is why I have this great big bag. I will hold it up, and then you can hold it. It is a shadow box that we had created so that you can both display the yad in your office and use it when you're reading from the Torah, so you can take it in and out. We hope this will be meaningful for you and a symbol of the deep affection of the congregation for you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. That's stunning. Thank you. What a blessing. Thank you.
We will continue as we turn to our concluding prayers, the Elena, which can be found on page 586, and for which we'll invite you, please, to rise. Page 586. We pause at this moment to think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. During the period of Shloshim, these last 30 days, we are mourning the loss of Israeli terror victims: Amir Hori, Rabbi Avishai Yecheskel, Rabbi Yaakov Shalom, Dmitry Mitrik, Victor Sauerkafut, Cheryl Abukart, Vaisen Falach, Laura Yitzchak, Rabbi Moshe Karbitsky, and Dorit Yachbas. From our own temple community, we are mourning the loss of Janice Temple, stepmother of Leslie Locketts, Madeline Albright, Ellis Markson, nephew of Leslie Locketts, Barry Jacobs, brother of Mike Jacobs, Yelena Lemberskaya, daughter of Alexander Lembersky and Ina Lemberskaya, and Sheila Newman, sister-in-law of Karen and Ron Newman. This Shabbat marks a yahrzeit and anniversary of passing for Saul Babin, Leonard Baker, Catherine Bancroft, Samuel Berger, Albert D. Berman, John Borick, Leah Brent, Charles Bullard, Rosalind Forrest, Barnett Freed, Louis Green, Richard Guan, Helen Hill, Anna Joel, Molly Levitt, Elmer Lewis, Annalise Rayburn, Jody Reif, Malvin Ring, Paul Roel, Natalie Rudin, Howard Michael Seidel, Anita Steinberg, Beryl Waldman, Sharon Wexler, and Sephora Zeidel. If there are names that you would add to either list, or names that are better spoken aloud by you, please would you add them as I look your way. And from home,
Rosalie
Bobby Rydell.
Zichronam Livracha, may each of their memories be for a blessing as we turn to page 598 to join together in the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabba, Be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayei chon u'vyomei chon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam olmei olmaya, v'yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudasha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all who mourn, to all Israel, as we join together in saying, Amen. Amen. And please be seated.
Shabbat Shalom. Short announcements this Shabbat. Tomorrow, Torah study on Zoom, 9:15. Shabbat morning service at 10:30. Religious school, Passover Seder program this Sunday at 9:30. And also adult education class taught by me at 9:30. And Sinai Sprouts confirmation class and Razzi pizza party. That's fun. Monday night, April 11th, Shalom Hartman class taught by Rabbi Till and Rabbi Silbert. Very important, next Friday is First Seder. We will have a very short Kabbalat Shabbat via Zoom only. 5 o'clock, very short service on Zoom only next Friday. And Shabbat morning, which is a Passover service, will be joined with TBK service at TBK. No religious school on Sunday and the following Sunday. Well, you can find the schedule also on the website. Few other announcements. Thank you to Alice Vachakovsky, our greeter, and of course to Cantor Claire Franker, our wonderful guest, and the Congregant Engagement Committee for the reception following the service. Mazel tov to Rabbi Jan Katz, who has chosen to be a rabbi at Temple Bnei Israel in Laconia in New Hampshire. There is a note here. The Katz are not moving from Rochester, but will be going to New Hampshire for high holidays and 2 weekends a month. Very important, following the service, we welcome everyone to please join us in the social hall for oneg with challah, desserts, and beverages. For those who reserve, the small plate food box will be available. If you haven't reserved and would like to join us, please see Joyce. Raise your hand, Joyce. She's somewhere there. There are so many places that need your donations for Ukraine crisis, and many other that are listed on our website. Please refer to our website for donations that are needed. We'll continue with the Hamotzi. I would like to invite Cantor Franker.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen.
I just said I won't hit her in the head with it.
She appreciates that.
While they're enjoying the challah, we'll turn to page 647 for the closing song of Seh Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat Shalom.